Hey friends, welcome back to my channel, and for those of you who are new here, hi, I'm Amy. Today is Monday, November 4th, and I'll be shipping out my sales from over the weekend. It was a pretty slow weekend. I only have 2 sales to ship out, but both of them are higher dollar sales, and actually the total is more than I sold altogether last week, so that is a good thing. The first items that sold on Chairish.com. I had 1 sale on Chairish and 1 sale on Poshmark. And the sale was these unusual vases with this silver kind of draped detail. I never could definitively find information on these, and I hope that I didn't undersell them, but they have been listed for a few years or a couple of years. Maybe over a year, I don't know, a while. So long enough to, find more information if I was going to. They sold for $85 for the pair. I paid $15. I forgot to write down what my profit was. Oh, so that made my profit $53.50. You can assume for the rest of the video that I am deducting my cost of goods, any website fees, and any shipping discounts from my profit. So overall, I'm happy with that. I did initially think that these would sell for a higher amount than they did, but at some point, I'm just ready to move on and let them go. I'm gonna move these out of the way. So the next item that sold is really the big one, and it is this vintage men's Filson coat. So if you're not familiar with this brand, you definitely want to keep your eyes out for Filson. There we go. And this is a brand out of Seattle, and this one in particular was union made. So it sold for $476. I am absolutely thrilled with it. It was in nice overall condition, and I had this priced at $595, which is right at what the current retail is, or right around what the current retail is for these Filson coats. They're very thick, heavy wool. And in fact, I think it was on Saturday, or maybe it was Sunday, someone asked me, made a comment on the listing and said, is there a reason that this is priced at retail? Because it's a vintage piece. And when someone asks, something like that, I don't know if they were genuinely curious or if they were kind of trying to throw shade or get a discount, but I don't really buy into those types of questions. So I just said, go ahead and make an offer if you are interested. And then the next day I sent out offers, 20% off with discounted shipping on every item in my closet, and a different buyer bought this. So still a very great price. I picked this up for just $20 at an estate sale. And for those of you guys who watch my videos every week, I shared this in a ship with me video because I was so excited that I got it and some Pendleton stuff. So I'd say this took 6 or 8 months to sell, and that made my profit $358.78. I am absolutely thrilled with that. So I did research, and I can't remember at this time what it said, but the reason that I priced it so high is because I do send out offers regularly on my items. And let's see, I think when I listed it, I was getting ready to send out 30% off offers, or yeah, I can't remember exactly, but I definitely wanted to leave room to be able to send out offers on this coat, or to have buyers send me offers. And you know what? Actually, now I remember, I think I priced it lower to begin with, but I kept getting really low ball offers, like 150 or 200. And based on my research, these jackets are definitely worth 250 to 350 all day long. Some of them are worth more depending on, you know, what the tag says, what the color is. I think that the vintage Forest Service Filson coats can be more valuable than other ones, but feel free to take a look at eBay sold listings for Filson jackets, and you can sort high to low and kind of get an idea of what are some of the more desirable ones, what are some of the more common ones. That's what I do. But if I find something, a Filson coat for, let's say, under $40, I'm going to pick it up in a heartbeat. If it's more than that, I might do more research. But anyways, I am super excited about this sale. Fingers crossed that there is no issues with it. I did look at the buyer, and it looks like he purchases higher priced items and vintage items, so he should be familiar with, you know, kind of overall what a vintage item is. Anyways, I'm very, very excited about that. That is it for today sales wise, but of course don't go anywhere. This video will continue. I did want to talk a little bit about kind of what my plans are for the rest of fourth quarter. Since it is the first week of November, my sales were terrible on Poshmark in October and kind of down overall online. Actually, I don't know, maybe Chairish wasn't down in October. But I have so much stuff that I've been buying and I have not been listing. So I'm going to go back to my listing goal. I think I did this at the beginning of this year, and it's 555. So I'm going to list 5 items on Poshmark, 5 items on Chairish, 5 days a week. So that should get me to 50 new listings per week. And that's kind of a good goal for me. It doesn't always work out that I do 10 items 5 days a week. Sometimes, you know, I get to Sunday and I still have 20 items to list, but I stand by that goal and get to my 50 listings per week. And it did work for me at that time, and I really feel like I need like a structured, specific goal to get me back on track with listing and get my sales going again, because fourth quarter is pretty good for me, but usually first quarter is the best. I have some vacations and some other things coming up where I'll have my closet on vacation mode. And so I want to make sure to get as much activity in as possible before those things come up so that I can take advantage of having more sales in the meantime. How are your guys' sales doing? I hope that they are going okay. I was watching, what is it? Casa Chic Store on Instagram. She does a daily tip. Boy, I am tongue-tied today. I'm sorry. But she was saying that she had one of the best Octobers ever. So maybe we need to be listening to what she's doing. And I know she's more of a eBay than Poshmark seller, but people are still making sales out there, and we just need to, you know, stay focused, keep listing, and I'm sure things will turn around. As always, if you enjoy this type of video, I would love it if you would consider subscribing to my channel. Also, if you could give this video a thumbs up and make a comment down below, all those things really help me out. And I will be back tomorrow or the next day to share what else I sell. See you then. Hey again, it's Wednesday and I have 4 things to ship out, so I am happy about that. I have been making a couple of changes to the activities that I've been doing on Poshmark, so I'll talk a little bit about that throughout this clip of the video. The first item that sold is this vintage pair of Christian Dior glasses. For those of you who have been viewers for a long time, you may remember that I went to the estate sale of a former optometrist, and there was a whole bunch of these eyeglasses, some with demo lenses and some without lenses at all, and some with prescription lenses. These ones were just the frames. And in true Amy fashion, instead of just buying a couple of pairs, I bought 30 pairs of these glasses. But they were only $5 a piece, and most of them were designer brands. And let me tell you, it turned out to be a really great purchase. Of course, to begin with, I was a little not sure because they were $5 a piece, so I spent $150 on eyeglasses, and I'd never sold eyeglasses before, so I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out. But I didn't add it up, but I would say that I made well over $1,000 already profit on that purchase. So that was over a year ago, actually, and initially they were selling weekly, but I haven't sold a pair in months. But these sold for $126. Like I said, I paid $5, so that made my profit $95.80. I am thrilled with that. It's interesting, the style that I thought would be more popular, which was that kind of bigger style, was the least popular style. Whatever, it still ended up being a great investment. So the next item that sold is this Coach iPhone 15 Pro case, and it's kind of a portfolio. So it opens up and it has like a little wallet section, and then there is a removable case in there. I picked this up when Marshall's was having their yellow tag sale, and they had it marked down to $13. So I bought one for myself and one to flip, and it ended up being a little bit too bulky and heavy for what I personally wanted. So I returned one and kept this one to sell, and it sold for $40. I think that's pretty good. It did take probably 2 months to sell. Not terrible. So that made my profit $19. Here and there, you know, I will experiment with retail arbitrage if it's something that I think that I'm drawn to. I haven't been very successful at it, so I probably won't make a habit of it. But it's kind of fun here and there to pick up things and see what kind of profits I can make. The next item that sold is this vintage pearl and gold filled bracelet. I just thought this was kind of a pretty dainty piece, and I picked it up in a estate sale thinking that it could be real gold, but it ended up being gold filled, like I said. It sold for $38, which I think is pretty nice little amount for it to sell for. I paid $3 for this. Let's see. So I'm going to put a little ribbon on that. That made my profit $27.40. A nice profit. I think this took 6 or 8 months to sell. Not a super quick sale, but a good profit nonetheless. This next item that I sold, I don't really know why I even listed it. I'm kind of surprised, but I did end up making a little profit on it, so I guess that's just fine. And it is this teeny tiny little cross charm pendant. It's not real gold, it's just gold tone, and it's even has a little bit of wear to it, but I suspect that I was listing little charms and just figured that I could sell this for a little bit at least. And a lot of times when I'm listing charms, I will bulk photograph them. This sold for $10. So I will bulk photograph them, and then I will copy and paste the description. And then I will just change, you know, whatever the keyword is, whatever the style of the charm is in each listing. So it makes it really fast and easy to list charms, and I only take 3 or 4 photos of the item, so that also doesn't take very long. So I probably was just thinking, oh, it's here, I'll just list it. I think it was $10 with discounted shipping even. This didn't cost me anything though, so that made my profit $5.03. Almost a coffee at Starbucks, so that's just fine. Well, that is it for today. So what I have been doing, number one, is I started listing again. I've been listing some new items on Poshmark. Number two, I turned off my Posher VA's automatic offer to liker, and a couple of times a day I am going in and manually sending out offers to the new likers, and I am offering my very best price right off the bat. And so that gives me the opportunity to look at these items that are potentially older and make an aggressive offer to move those items out and kind of appeal more to the buyer. Because for my Posher VA, I just have an automatic 10% off with $5.95 discounted shipping, and that may not be attractive enough to some buyers. Let's see, what else am I doing? I also have done some edit next list on my listings to hopefully refresh those things. And anytime Poshmark has put up a banner or put something in my news feed that asks me to take action in the app, like join a Posh show or review these listings or share a listing to be auctioned off by another seller. I don't even know how that all works, but if I'm on the app and I see that banner pop up, I am interacting with the app like they're asking me to see if that can possibly favor me at all. I will try anything at this point, but I do think that making those aggressive offers is helping. I feel like it is, at least. At least I had 4 sales over the last couple of days. Hopefully the momentum will get going again. Don't go anywhere. I will be back within the next couple of days to share what else I sell. Fingers crossed things keep getting better. Okay, thanks for watching. Hey again, it's Friday and I'm really excited. My sales have turned around. I have 7 items to ship out today. I think that's because I have been listing a couple of new things a day, not a ton, but new listings. And then I have also been sending out individual offers to new likers when I can. So not within 5 minutes, but maybe every few hours I'm sending out offers to new likers. I think that that is just somehow feeding the algorithm, because not all of these came from those offers. Other people made me offers. There were a few that came from those offers that I sent out. Whatever it is, I'm happy that it is going better, and I'm close to my $1,000 profit goal for the week. So hopefully I have a couple more sales and I make that this week. Okay, so let's get started. The first item that sold is this pair of fetish earrings, and these are Native American style. I'm not certain if they are genuine or not. The carving didn't look that great to me, and the hooks were not real sterling silver. So I just put that they, in the title, I just put Southwest style fetish earrings. And then I put bear, fox, wolf in there, and carved stone, I think. But these ended up selling for $49, and they really hadn't been listed that long. I picked these up at a gem and mineral show. So I had never been to a gem and mineral show before. I thought that it was just all rocks, especially in my town, because I live in a pretty small town. And that was mostly what it was. But there was a couple of vendors there who had vintage jewelry that was made out of different stones. And then some of them just had regular costume, vintage costume jewelry even. So I did pick up a couple of things. I paid $10 for these, which was maybe a little bit more than I would normally pay, but because I got up and went there and paid to get in, I think it was $5 to get in, I wanted to pick up a couple of things to make up for my time, which I think just this pair did. So that made my profit $29.20. I'm happy with that, and I'm excited that those, you know, sold pretty quickly. The next item that sold is also a Native American style piece. This definitely is not Native American. It is marked alpaca, so it's from Mexico. And I believe that I think this is a faux stone or block turquoise. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think block turquoise is when they grind down turquoise and then bond it back together with some sort of epoxy. Anyways, it sold for $55. I thought that was a pretty nice little sale. It was listed a little while, not a super long time. I paid $5 for it, so that made my profit $39. Another nice little sale. Lots of jewelry going out. The next item is this set of 3 bangle bracelets. Now these are sterling silver and they are Carolyn Pollock. It did have her little mark on there. You're not going to be able to see it, but they are bound together with this little heart. I thought it was a really cool piece. This is from that $890 estate sale haul, and it sold for $41. I paid $3 for it. So that made my profit $29.80. I'm happy with that. This has been listed, you know, between 4 and 6 months, but still great to move it out. Oh, and before I forget, so Hannah asked me about this ring that I was wearing in last week's video, and I pulled it out of my jewelry hoard because I love it and I had forgotten about it. It is, I believe that it is from the 40s, but it could also be from the 80s, and it's real gold, and it has, there we go, now you can see it. It has the mosaic opals, and then the side is brushed gold. I think it was probably a men's ring to begin with, but I don't care. I have larger hands and I liked the way it looked. I picked this up at an estate sale, of course. I can't remember exactly how much I paid for it, but I think like $10 or $15, and it's just really, let's see, I'll take it off. It's just really a fun and unique piece. And then as you can see, the bottom of the band is polished, but yeah, I just love the color play and fire in those opals. So anyways, I don't know if any of the rest of you are interested in that, but Hannah is also here on YouTube, and she is Hannah's Heirlooms now, and she shares a lot of info about, she particularly likes glass jewelry, glass beads. If I remember, I'll link her channel in the description box below, but go check it out. She shares a lot of great information. She also has some live sales sometimes and shares sales jewelry. Okay. And thank you, Hannah. You've been so supportive and kind pretty much from the very beginning of my channel, and I just really appreciate you and everyone else who has been very supportive of me. Okay, the next item that sold, lots of bracelets going out, are these really chunky bangle bracelets, and I think this is like a leather type material or faux leather, and these are by Ted Rossi. These were given to me a long time ago, and I came across the box of this stuff and decided to get them listed, and they sold for $25 for the pair, which I think is just fine. There was another pair that was in black snakeskin and silver snakeskin, and those have not sold yet. Did I say $25 for the pair is what they sold for? So that made my profit $20. I'm happy with that and glad to, you know, move something out that was just kind of sitting in a box somewhere, which unfortunately I have a lot of those boxes. But as I've said before, one of the main reasons I'm in this business is because I love thrift shopping, and you know, I have ebbs and flows of motivation. And I just try and focus on, you know, doing what I love as part of the business. And then when I feel motivated to get things organized and listed, I do. And as long as I'm, you know, making money and paying my bills, I'm gonna try not to worry about it. Okay, so the next item is this Duluth Trading black leather belt. And this is a really nice quality, thick belt, just an otherwise pretty basic piece. But I picked it up because it was Duluth Trading and it was such nice quality. And because it was black, I'm trying not to pick up brown leather belts anymore. Actually, I've slowed down picking up most any belts recently because my belt sales have really fallen off, and I probably have 75 listed already, so I'm not buying anymore until I sell through those. And with me sending out offers, I've been sending out pretty aggressive offers on my belts to try and move through some of those. And you know, on average, I've paid about $3 per belt. Some I pay a little bit more for. So even if I, you know, sell a belt still for $20, that's still a nice little profit, which is what this one sold for. It sold for $20. I paid $3 for it, so that made my profit $13. That's just fine. You know, kind of move it out. So I have room to bring in some more stuff. Okay, so the next item that sold is a very exciting sale. It is this vintage women's Sherpa shearling jacket. And it is just not coming across. I'm going to button up at least one of the buttons here, as beautiful as it is. But it is a kind of a midi length, just a gorgeous piece, beautiful quality, genuine Sherpa suede, really beautiful condition. There was no brand name on this, and I think I will package this up off camera just because I'm gonna have to kind of wrestle with it to get it to fold up nicely. But I considered keeping this. However, it's just a little snug in the shoulders for me, and since it's a winter piece, I probably would want to wear thicker items underneath and it just wouldn't be comfortable. So I had it listed, and I had it listed for over $300, and someone offered me $250. I got the notification on my phone that said you have a new offer on this shearling coat, and I was like, okay, Amy, you're not going to wear it, so if you have a offer over $200, you're going to accept it. And sure enough, they offered me $250. I think that is a wonderful price. And I really hope they love that coat. It's just beautiful. And I've never seen another one like it. I only paid $5 for this at a small town thrift store. So that made my profit $195. I'm very excited about that. That did take over a year to sell though. And then the next item that sold is this men's jacket. And it's very Western inspired. It has a leather collar, and it's kind of this brushed cotton material. And I wanted to say thank you to Alexandra, who's another viewer. She watches my closet, and I think this may have been relisted, and she saw it and she made a comment on the listing and said, I bet if you add the keywords barn coat, and I think anorak was the other thing that she suggested. I can't remember for sure. I bet this will sell quickly. And so I did, and it did. Within, I don't know, what was that, a week or two, Alexandra, that you made that comment. So thank you so much for giving me that tip. Barn coats weren't quite as trendy, I don't think, when I listed this, or I just forgot to use that keyword. So that was really helpful. If you guys are ever, you know, perusing my closet and you see that I have something misspelled, or that, you know, maybe I'm missing a keyword, I will not take any offense to you know, giving me suggestions. I am all about learning and sharing. And I haven't said this in a while, but I am by no means an expert on everything, and I share the knowledge to the best of my ability, but I always encourage you to do your own research and, you know, verify things that I may say for your own, you know, your own knowledge, just because I'm not the end all be all. But anyways, I really appreciate that. It ended up selling for $40, and this had been listed over a year. I paid about $6 for it, so that made my profit $26. I'm thrilled with that. Really happy to move out some of my bulky coats. And I've really been trying not to pick up clothing, but I had a couple slip-ups recently because Goodwill's putting out the coats, and it's so hard for me to resist vintage coats for a reasonable price that I think are really cool. I don't know when I'll ever learn, but again, I'm having fun, and that is part of living a good life, is enjoying your days and enjoying what you do while making a living. So I'm so relieved that my sales have turned around. I really hope that some of yours have too, or all of yours. I really hope all of your sales have turned around. If they haven't, maybe give some of those things a try that I've suggested. Maybe consider cross-posting. Another one of you gave me some tips about cross-listing to eBay and mentioned that your eBay sales have been great, even though your Posh sales were not so good. It's Friday, so hopefully I have more sales and I'll be back tomorrow. I have been listing quite a bit on Chairish and I haven't had any sales, so hopefully that will trickle, and next week or the week after I'll have some sales over there. I'm really excited to move some of my home decor out too. Okay, don't go anywhere. I'll be right back with what else I sell. Hi again, it's Saturday and I have 3 more sales to ship out, and I have a couple of things pending that are pretty great sales. So if those come through, I will share them with you on Monday. But I'm still very happy with this week. The first item that sold is this pair of green corduroys. They are American Eagle, and I think they just say super stretch, but they were kind of a straight leg style. I don't typically pick up American Eagle, but I was at a fill the bag type sale and it was very affordable, so I paid less than $1 for these. I also bought them right when school was starting back up, so I thought I might catch someone back to school shopping. But they ended up selling for $10, a little bit less than I had hoped, but I hadn't had much interest, and when I got this offer for $10, I just decided to take it and move them out because it is the season of sales after all. I realized I haven't said anything about accepting offers in a little while, so this made me get back into that. Okay, so they sold for $10, I paid $1, so that made my profit $6.05. Not really a home run, but you know, $6 nonetheless. Not going to complain about that, and they really didn't take a super long time to sell, maybe only a month or 2. So that makes me happy. Okay, and then these next couple of sales are both pretty good sales, and I just noticed some lint on this coat. I had already lint rolled it, but apparently I missed something. Okay, so the next item that sold is this somewhat vintage leather bomber jacket, and this was mine. And now that I sell it and I'm looking at it, I don't want to sell it again, but it's been in my closet for years and I rarely reached for it. I hadn't reached for it in a couple of years. It has this really cool detail, kind of pleated detail on the sleeves. The leather is very, very soft. I think this is probably from the 90s or 2000s. It's just Moda International, but it ended up selling for $50. So I think that is pretty great. Oh yeah, it also had this kind of pleated detail on the side there. Just a nice quality piece. I don't remember exactly how much I paid for this, But I would guess, you know, only around $10 because I am a pretty frugal gal. So that made my profit $30. I think that's just fine. I think I listed this towards the end of last winter. So it took, you know, close to a year to sell for that amount. But that's okay. I am happy to move it along to a new home, and hopefully they will reach for it more than I did. So coats have really been a great seller for me in this last week. The other item that I sold is also a coat. And another thing that reminded me to accept offers. So I had this listed at $95. But another thing that reminded me to accept offers was, again, Kasha Chic Store on Instagram. She does a daily reseller tip. I don't know if I mentioned her in this video or last week's, but she recently posted to fall out of love with your inventory. So I'm trying to look at my items like a business and not as something that I am attached to or in love with, because if I'm not going to wear it or keep it, then I need to sell it and move it along. And that, you know, kind of makes me take a look again at things when I receive an offer that's not quite what I wanted, but that I'll still make a decent profit on. And if the item has been listed for a fair amount of time, I need to move it out to get fresh inventory in. Okay, so the next item is this vintage camel hair coat. I would guess that this is from the 1950s or 1960s. It's kind of a midi maxi length depending on your height. Really a beautiful piece, and the label does indeed say 100% pure camel hair. This had a small flaw to it. So when I bought it, I didn't realize that it had a tear right here. And so I went ahead and stitched that up. You know, it's not professional or anything, but it actually looks pretty good for a home job. And I got this listed because it was sitting in my death pile forever. I think I also listed this maybe at the end of last winter. So it took, you know, somewhere in the neighborhood of 8 to 12 months to sell. This was another item. I had this listed for $129. Because it was camel hair, it's vintage, I was really hoping to get a higher amount for it, but I ended up selling it for $50. Less than I wanted to get, but it is sold. I only paid about $6 for this, so that made my profit $34. I'm gonna go ahead and package this up off camera, because again, it's kind of hard to wrestle with these bigger coats to get them to fold up the way I want them to. Turned out to be a good week. I am super happy that my sales have turned around. It's Saturday, and you know, I just published last week's video on Thursday, and a lot of you are saying that your sales are still slow, but some of you are saying that your sales are fine. And most of the people that are saying that are people who have cross-listed to eBay. A lot of people are talking about Etsy too for vintage and home decor. So that's just another reason that we, you know, need to consider diversifying our business. I know that I need to cross-list on eBay, but I'm still not certain that I will. I kind of like the way my business is right now, as long as I can keep my sales going. I'm not a very organized person, and adding another platform I think will be difficult for me. So we'll just see. Hopefully, you know, one of these days I will. Because I would also like to share with you guys how I do and what I sell on there, because I think it would be really helpful for everyone. Okay, so my total sales for the week were $1,365. Yes, that is more along the lines of what I'd like. My total cost of goods was $105. and my total profit after fees, cost of goods, and any shipping discounts was $981.56, just shy of my $1,000 profit goal. And in fact, I did have a sale on Chairish, but I'm not going to ship it out till Monday, so I thought I'd just save it till next week. So really, in reality, I exceeded that $1,000 profit goal for this week, so I am thrilled about that. As always, thank you guys so very much for your kindness and your support and continuing to watch my videos. It just means so much to me. All of your comments always mean a lot to me, and when you give my video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, that just reinforces that what I'm doing is making a difference, and that's really what I want to do. Okay, thanks again. I will see you guys all again next week.
See the otters? I'm gonna go shut that bird up.